Maybe your pops was tops. Maybe your father's a bother. If he's angry and mad or in absentee lad, no matter what kind you had, here's fuck you, Dad.
Welcome to another episode of Fuck You Dad, everybody. You know what it is. We're happy to bring another guest we had during the lost episodes of the quarantine. So we're going to finally bring him in studio and have a good time. Thanks for coming on. Adam Addis.
Right?
Addis.
Close, yes.
All right, so we're getting butcher by butcher, we're getting better.
Step by step, we'll figure it out together. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm respectful.
Cool. Yeah.
What's up, boys?
Yeah, man. How you doing?
Doing all right. Happy to be here.
I'm pumped you're on the podcast. I think did we meet for the first time on the golf course?
I think probably without, open mic passing and comedy bullshit, you just cross paths. But yeah, a golf hang is a different hang.
That was fun time.
You're a good golf player, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's fun.
I've been playing for since I was 15. But I got back into it once I started to be able to drink and fuck around.
I started during COVID.
Yeah. A lot of people.
That's actually a pretty good COVID activity.
Trump
go outside.
Trump gave me $1,200. I went home. And I was all right.
I didn't do anything I didn't do anything stupid. I just helped my mom pay rent. I didn't do anything fun get into golf.
I did
go
stupid
outside,
shit.
get a car. I should have.
I bought a motorcycle, started golfing.
I should have been more unhinged during COVID.
I
wish I took that $1,200, just went to Disney World.
You're right. You're right.
I wish I took advantage of some abandoned shit.
$40 flight to Miami and just go crazy. That's $1,200.
Just lost it.
Yeah,
I know. I wish I could go back now and be like, by the way, you're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I should have been like.
I know, man.
You're gonna be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why the golf thing was cool, because it's all right, I do like drinking and smoking outside, so this is fine. But my cousin got it early,
Yeah,
and he had
golf is a very
104 fever. So at first I was like, oh, this is kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
And then after the fact, come on, August, I was in fucking Lake Geneva drinking Wisconsin bars, being like, all right, well,
I was pretty terrified the entire time, and
I mean, especially once the vaccine came out too. But
vaccine, I was like, yeah.
But terrified, and again, I was more terrified of fuck you, Dad, for my dad. Dad's,
Sure.
Poor health, smoker. I was like, this nigga's gonna die.
Yeah.
He was in Africa when it happened. I was like,
that is not the place.
In February, he was in Ethiopia. I was like, yo, what's good? He's like, I gotta come back. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't bring that shit back with you. So
the parents was definitely tough, and I feel like they cared the least a lot of the time. So you're just like, no, you're.
Oh my god, it was so fun. Seeing the version of care parents had, and even the dad thing is like. So my friend's parents, they were like my drinking parents. They were let us fuck around.
Yeah.
So I come back for COVID. I'm furloughed, hanging with my folks. My folks were super locked down. My mom works in healthcare or whatever. I'm like, I'm gonna go sip some beers with Pete and Maureen and go hang out with them. And they're having a barbecue or whatever with the nurse. They work at the hospital. And we're talking. I'm meeting these people. I'm smoking a blunt. We're just chilling. And they're like, oh, you're Ethiopian. I'm like, yeah, it's a small community. There's this Ethiopian guy that I met in Ocean City, and he told me he's voting for Trump. And I was like,
as if you were like, well, let me talk.
Well, no.
Yeah.
I know every Ethiopian guy in Ocean City, no doubt. And my dad drives a cab in Ocean City too. So I'm like, wait, what? They're like, yeah, he was really adamant about just wanting Trump to make America great again. And I was like, is this my dad fucking with this white lady? This is my dad. This is his inside joke at the beach where he's like, yeah, Trump's baby.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude. Sorry.
Was it your dad?
100% was my dad.
Yeah. That's so fun. Is that a genuine opinion of his? Or
no, fuck no.
Well, you never know.
My dad just likes fucking with.
That's hilarious.
My dad,
that is a cool dad. That's a cool dad move to fuck with people on that level.
Oh, and he'll do it even with some kid shit. My parents Ethiopian, whatever, but my family friends that speak Amharic, they're like, if you only understood how funny your dad is, it doesn't translate the same way. He has a good sense of humor, but my older cousin, she's probably in her late 30s, early 40s now. She's like, when I was a little girl, your dad was like, you know what I did? I prayed to God to make me a boy, and he did. And she was like, I don't know why it was so funny to her as a kid, but I'm like, my dad was pro transgender movement back in the day. He was encouraging narratives in the 80s. This is crazy. And just little dumb shit like that.
That's
my dad is a fucking goof, bro. He used to tell us we were 12. He was 12. How old is mom? Mom was How's that?
So your dad
12.
is just openly fucking with everybody.
Yeah.
He's just
Everybody
not telling the
always.
truth.
Everybody always is. Yeah, I mean,
You're having a hard time being a woman? Well, I was a woman. I swear to God, that sucked.
It's right.
try
Literally,
that.
dude. Straight. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're
just
not,
Norm
just got
Macdonald
hit.
all the time?
All the time. Yeah. Just crushing new.
Wow, how old are you? Like 11? Yeah. No. I'll see you tomorrow. In
what is he
Mrs.
like
Gibbs'
now?
Class.
He's chill, man. He's cool. I mean, again, it's a crazy African dad, so like the funny shit is in hindsight, but you know,
He's also was a little scary at times.
terrifying. All my white friends,
That's
terrifying.
how I am. My uncles scare the fuck out of me.
Yeah,
like there's just something about like an angry man with an accent that's like also you
Stoic.
get some machismo
Stoic.
in there.
They
and
don't
you're like,
smile.
I'm not a real man.
Yeah.
I'm a pussy.
Mr. Greg is like goofing around and
Yeah.
cracking balls. My dad's just standing in the corner, just silently, and I'm just like, "Yo, dude, what's going on?"
Yeah, you're like just seeing
Like,
some shit.
Adam is so that's on some crazy shit too. Where it's like as I get older, I kind of think about that. Where like people in America like complain about whatever trauma they faced or feel, but then there's like parents from like third world countries that are like, I've watched people's arms get chopped off. Like they've seen
it's
wild shit, and they will not crack an ounce of it out until like their deathbed.
They also
where I'm like,
sometimes they'll say something that they don't think is that crazy, and then they'll say it like in passing.
So I said, I
Yeah.
did that where I was like, just some regular party in college at my house, and I was like, oh yeah, my dad, cracked my brothers and I in the head, and all these like, uppity private school white girls just like, what? And I'm like, yeah, my dad smacked the shit out of my brothers and I a lot. My mom did too, yeah. And they were like, what? Why would they? I'm like,
and they just support a support group.
they were like, wait, what are we talking about? Like, I don't know how to even explain this to you, but yeah, kids get hit, and it's just,
Yeah.
And now I don't want to hit my kids if I have kids, but it was different then. There was one time my dad was pissed off and like slapped me with the remote, but the batteries flew out, so he couldn't use the remote. And this is like early 2000s, so like the remote was very important, and he was pissed about that.
That's a big fuck up.
A big fuck up on his part,
Yeah.
and I
think about how your forehead just fucked over the whole family.
My little ass was laughing. I'm just like, you dumb fuck. This is what you get. Yeah. Find those double A batteries. Go on the couch. Look for those batteries, you bitch. Yeah.
He smacked you so hard with the remote, the batteries flew out.
That's like
God
your forehead was bleeding. Like that's
Cracked,
a pretty big one, dude.
My dad used to have that. Brought up the. My dad used to have. You remember the Universal remotes?
Oh yeah.
So my dad used to have this fucking. This is before iPads, anything, and I swear to God, it was like this fucking big. And he had like one of the first like HD TVs. He loved all this shit.
My dad loves TVs.
He has bipolar, right? My dad.
Okay.
So he goes super manic, and he always buys home video equipment when he's mad. You should see the.
I think my dad's bipolar too. You talk about it. He's put it like that at the end.
He'll go through episodes of like I'm gonna buy all this shit for my home theater, and then like 2 months go by, he doesn't go in there, and he'll look at me and be like, you know how much I bloody spent on that shit? $25,000 downstairs in the basement.
Which is
insane.
That's like
what
a
the
fuck
fuck?
up of epic proportion.
Yeah.
I've made some mistakes in my life, like $25,000 on nothing.
I know, and then he gets sad about it and like complains about it to me, and I'm like, bruh.
So the
I don't know
full
how to help that.
this makes me understand Nick a lot because this is quite literally what you did before the pod.
You are your dad.
You are your dad.
Stop saying
you
that.
did a dumb thing that no one was so avoidable.
I spent $2,000 on gambling.
Yeah, you literally gave. I blew a bunch of money gambling. Holidays are coming up. Everything sucks. And it's like nobody put a gun to your head.
Like, dude, call your dad.
Instead put your shift money on the Vikings.
I know, it's just not
You
even.
don't have to buy video
I
equipment.
didn't put my shift money on the Vikings, but it was enough to make me
not
sad.
even your
It was
kid.
enough to make me
Your
sad.
kid's just gonna be like, I don't know why Sunday makes Papa sad. You'd be like, you know how much bloody money I spent on the Vikings? You're gonna know because you gotta go out there and panhandle for rent.
That would be funny if once I had kids, I literally turned into a British guy. Like something
I
changed
think
in my
that's
brain
what
chemistry.
happens. Like a second a baby comes out of Kelly.
Your wife is just like, I'm pregnant. You're like, oi.
Yeah.
That's bloody brilliant.
What is that? You want to go to a doctor's
can't stop.
office?
I can't stop.
No, it just they're like, this is how British people actually
Well,
just
name him
continue to
Liam.
bubble. Yeah. Better not be a bloody Liverpool fan.
He won't be.
Yeah.
Dude, that fucking
That's
lit
like
a
the-
fire
it's
in
like
me.
the
You
drug-
saying that, dude? Woo!
Yeah,
No.
drug conversation. You're like, who gave you this? Just a Liverpool pennant under. I'm just holding it for a friend. Just beat him.
I'd be like, wouldn't you rather like shoot up your school instead of be a Liverpool fan? You know, do something else.
Do you find his heroin needle in a Liverpool sack? And you're like, what is a sack? The heroin's fine. But the sack has
Wrap
to
it
go.
up in a Wolves shirt, please.
Oh my god.
Is your dad a sports guy?
Yeah, yes and no. So he loves soccer. Africa soccer's
Ethiopian,
big.
yeah.
Yeah. We grew up watching
Most of the world, really.
Most of the world,
it's
yeah.
like the whole planet. Everyone's like, well, everywhere else.
I always say ethnic dads can juggle and tell stories. That's what ethnic dads can do.
My dad can juggle. Too.
And
he's not ethnic.
You watch it. I mean, he is ethnic, dude.
He's
different.
foreign. Yeah.
If you give a fucking dad in the burbs a soccer ball, he'll shit his pants. You give it to some 80-year-old Mexican guy. He's like, watch this. And
they literally, yeah. Like,
it's a whole different thing. Yeah.
That is true. Like, just a standard white dude with a soccer ball.
You roll a soccer ball to a Russian, to an Asian, anything.
Yeah.
They know what to do. But you give them a baseball, everything's different in America.
Yeah.
But
they just look at it like, what's this hard volleyball? Fucking idiot.
Kick it around.
Love soccer. So we watched soccer growing up. He came to
in
DC.
America, feet are for sucking.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Or fucking, yeah. If my dad likes feet, I'm learning something about my dad right now. Yeah. But he came to DC in the 80s, so he learned football.
Okay,
watching
yeah.
the Commanders now, the Redskins.
Yeah.
I still call them the Redskins. But so he watched good football.
Mm-hmm.
But this is why I don't like football as much as most people in general. I grew up watching the Redskins in the late 90s, early 2000s, and they were just terrible.
Yeah.
I didn't understand why football was cool.
Yeah, well, I grew up with the Panthers, so
but I just
it's a lot of sad.
We would
drive
to DC, go to church, hang out with our family, and they would all just sit around watching the Redskins lose. And my dad called them the Deadskins, and he didn't care, so I didn't care, and then everyone loves football so much. I'm like, I get.
It's like the team that you like. Everyone just gets pushed to the ground.
But then I went to my first NFL game in college. My roommate in college had front row end seats for Ravens, and the Ravens won. My senior year, so it's like once drinking and socializing becomes a thing. It's cool and fun. But you go to the actual game, electric.
Yes.
But my dad had no interest in any of that, and he was at the game. Who was the Redskins dude with the leg?
I don't know anything.
Oh! I know who you're talking about. The quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe
Theismann? No.
I don't
the
know.
blindside thing. The fucking, he gets sweeped and his fucking leg snaps, like he gets tackled. And
I think I heard about that.
yeah, it's like the the aspect of why that blindside whatever fucking position is so important because they're protecting the quarterback. My dad was there for that game, watched that shit happen. He's like, yeah, my kids will never play football.
Sure, no, that's like one of the smartest.
And we played soccer. My brother played soccer. I tried out for the soccer team, didn't make it. I wanted to be the kicker because they would come to the soccer team.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, oh, we need kickers, and my dad was like, fuck no. Luckily, my dad didn't know what lacrosse was, so I signed up for lacrosse in the spring.
Ah,
and he
damn.
was like, yeah.
He didn't. He was like, all right, you can play this other game with pads and a helmet.
Yeah,
I
and
guess.
a stick and a shaft and just smack the fuck out of people with. Yeah. He
You
loves
were a
he loves
lacrosse guy.
Played lacrosse, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, walked on. Terrible team. Yeah.
You went
Fuck
hardcore into the suburbs thing.
I mean, it was Maryland, bro.
Yeah,
Different,
you had to
Yeah.
adapt to survive.
I walked on a week late.
It's like you were drowning and you just
I
grabbed
was
a
like, me and
stick.
my Pakistani friend Sonny, we were like, you guys need players? They're like, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. We'll find you a helmet. Figure it out. Yeah.
Did you guys? What was? Do you remember your record?
I mean, we were lucky if we were 500. I stopped playing by the time I got to
How
varsity.
physical is lacrosse? I've
We
always
get fucked up. I got my shit
You're
cracked.
the
I was
most-
gonna
And
say.
also, kids that were playing in that region of America are very
good. The East Coast.
The scale. It's like kids are playing on the highest level, and it's always funny because we went the golf thing. Like I like that it becomes more prevalent in like Baltimore specifically, but allowing black people to play these white sports changes so much, especially with a game like lacrosse because it's so fast.
Yeah.
and such a hard game where it's like they would bring kids on. They would like, please, just try this game out.
Yeah.
And they're like, I know football and
Just need
basketball.
a team to win.
We've had enough Tylers with a bunch of money coming out
if
here.
you're gonna hold this ball and this
Yeah.
stick and run the same way you do with your football pads
Over
on,
there, yeah.
you'll be good. Everything will be good, and you're strong as fuck. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
gonna scare the fuck out of Greg. And but it was fun.
and then you
It-
can go to fucking Duke, don't they have?
I mean, the opportunities that come, those black athletes that are put in those situations, especially out of like the, uppity Baltimore private school shit,
Yeah.
like when that shit changes, it's interesting to like watch because I did the same thing, kind of on accident, and my parents educated, everything's fine. I went to public school, fine, but like to know like, oh, this kid was from a terrible part of Baltimore. Someone put a lacrosse stick in his hand. Now he's fucking white women in North Carolina. This is awesome.
That is
it's beautiful.
such a hilarious.
It's beautiful
for lacrosse to be the thing that liberates.
I know, yeah, it's crazy, yeah. And like, and you know, I had a lot of friends who had mutual friends that played at that high level, and like,
it also seems like there wouldn't be like it'd just be kind of funny to me to have like a really intense inspirational movie about lacrosse.
oh yeah,
You
I mean,
know?
it's coming up the channels, and everyone's just like, yeah, nobody gives a fuck. But apparently, that's what it was with Dazed and Confused. Dazed and Confused, the writer of it is from Severna Park, Maryland. It was about lacrosse, but
Really?
they made it Texas and football because it was more national.
Yeah, that's a thing
interesting.
I know.
That,
This might
it's just fun because it's just the stick.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I can't take this seriously.
I know, and it's funny because I kind of felt the same way about like hockey. Like I used to never like hockey, baseball, golf because I didn't know how to watch the ball.
yeah,
Because I didn't grow up watching it, so like when you put it on the TV, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
What's going on, yeah,
I can't
yeah.
see the puck. And-
Hockey does suck on TV. I still stand by that.
But then, you know, my roommates in college would all play NHL, and I'm like, that's like, and you know, the Caps were pretty good too. So it was like, it's a fun, it's an exciting, fast sport.
yeah,
And
yeah.
for
also
lacrosse,
just insane.
insane.
You're running on knives to punch people.
To physically fucking
Like the
fight.
fact that
Yeah.
you are basically like I've tried to skate before, gotten like 4 concussions.
Never
It's
skated. I've
horrible.
rollerbladed
Like,
a lot, but like it's funny when they tell you the height on skates. He's
Yeah,
6'11"
yeah.
on he's 6'11" on skates. That motherfucker's big without skates. Don't say that with the skates. Like
Yeah, they're basically just if you got wrestlers to be like figure skaters and fight each
Yeah.
other.
Well,
I mean that's insane.
White people love it because they finally get to be fast with ice skating. They finally get to be like a black athlete. They're like, man, I'm fast and strong with these skates on, dude.
I know it's like Chris Rock is like put LeBron on the skates. He just smacked the dick with his puck. Smack the puck with his dick. Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, bro. If you throw any of the like, and again, this is all gonna happen in like 30 years. Fucking what's his name? The NBA
Oh, the
player.
bros are gonna be pissed.
The NBA player who's golfing
Bros
now.
are gonna be so pissed.
Oh, I mean, it'll be the fights will be a lot better. Yeah. When you put Mike Tyson on skates and see what happens, dude. It's a lot of aggression coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. Lacrosse is cool. You know, home was cool. Dad was cool. But
So did you ever get in any trouble in like high school?
The look in his eyes, he's
Tons
like,
of trouble.
that's all
Really?
I do."
so my older brother was very good
Yeah.
kid, did a lot of good things, and I was
Classic older brother.
yeah. So older brother, 2 years me, 2 years twins.
Oh wow.
So I'm the
okay.
middle, technically of 4. And one day I just asked somebody to smoke weed, and I did.
And it all changed.
And a lot of things changed.
You're actually like a Dare commercial.
Literally.
You're like, and then from that first hit, it just went apart.
And the thing is, my parents never drank growing up. I had a lot of, you know, my uncles, Ethiopian parties, everyone's drinking Heinekens and Johnny Walker Black. It's just, you know, everyone's fucked
Yeah,
up.
for sure.
Yeah.
Dad ripped darts, though. Crushed cigarettes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it only took me becoming a piece of shit to be like, you don't just start smoking cigarettes. Like there was to
You
be
don't.
there's a life before this.
Uh-huh.
And as I got older, he's like, oh yeah, you know, I used to drink it, and then he just kind of stopped everything.
Cigarettes are like kind of. It means like you defeated other demons, and that's like your last one.
So yeah, it's funny because like for me the cigarette thing was like he had called me smoking weed, he'd called me drunk. But my senior year, he found a pack. He was taking my brother out to learn how to drive, so he grabbed my car, and I just left my pack of cigarettes in the car. Finds him. He's been chain smoking his whole life, and he runs in the house, and we like have a physical like brawl.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, he connected on me 2 times in the forehead.
Did he say anything, or did he just come in and
I think
punch you in the
he
face?
came in hot, cocked
And
back.
you're like, oh fuck, he found the cigarette.
Yeah. How do you know?
He
I was just for front, yeah.
he
like
cocked-
just based on the hit, you're like,
Yeah,
this isn't a weed hit.
This is a cigarette hit.
Yeah.
He cocked back, I cocked back, and then it was just over. And then my mom was like, ah! And then I walk into school.
At like what 8 a.m.
No, this is in the evening.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
As
like
if
that-
that's
that-
better.
it doesn't change anything.
Yeah.
But I
You're like,
walk.
oh, it's a night. It's a night fight.
I walk into school the next day with a fucking knot on my forehead.
Oh
I was
my
like,
god! So
what?
does any words, that he just punched you in the head?
So he comes at me, like kind of like a choke battle, connects twice my forehead. Mom starts freaking out. He walks out. I go to sleep with concussion probably, and I just wake up and go to school, and we just kind of just went about.
That
our
is
business.
It's funny. He's
it
like,
is
my son
very-
is not playing football. I'm giving him.
Yeah,
concussions."
I'm giving him
Okay.
CT so he can forget how good cigarettes are. I can save my kid's life.
I bet you know what. Immediately after he did that, you went and smoked a cigarette. He was like, "Fuck,
I can't
just
remember.
hit my kid. I need a cigarette."
He definitely darted through a few of them. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, he was ripping them for sure.
He didn't even say, like, listen, I'm addicted. You don't want this. He just punched you right in the head.
Yeah.
He wasn't even like, I'm going to make you smoke this whole pack. He's like, I'm going to make you
That's
forget third grade.
But again, as a cigarette smoker, I think he knows, like...
It is horrible.
'Cause that's
addiction is... The nicotine is the dumbest one.
Alcohol, and you know, it's fucked up now that I'm even thinking about it. Like, my buddy and I got fucked up one night. We had this bottle of Smirnoff. We just got drunk. He lived like 2 doors down. And I fell asleep in my bed and, like, was throwing up in my bed. Just fucked up.
Yeah.
16 years old.
Been there, done that, brother.
And my dad filmed me.
What?
I woke up the next morning. I'm just drunk or whatever. Everything seems fine.
TikTok girled you.
And then the next morning, he sits me down. He just goes on his phone and just hits play.
That's actually a killer move.
It was
That's a great
really
move.
it was really fucked up.
If someone did that to me when I was like 17, I'd probably be a pastor right
That's
now.
like,
Yeah.
you ever watch Succession?
Yeah.
That is like Succession, like, I own you now. This
Yeah,
is the piece
yeah,
of
yeah.
information I have on you now.
Oh yeah.
That is, how would you react? Because I think even now, if someone showed me just a pure blackout, I'd be like, oh.
You know what's funny? It's like I understand I'm only an outsider looking at white teenage angst, but like teenage angst itself it's an interesting thing because you're like, fuck you, mom, fuck you, dad, you don't get it, and then I think back to that and I'm like,
They got it pretty hard.
Yeah.
they got it, I didn't get it, and like this, I can only imagine what my next weekend was, like what I did the following weekend that pissed them off more. And again, these are people from a third world country.
Yeah.
They're like, you're so lucky. Yeah.
God-fearing Africans in a nice-ass house.
Yeah, you're like, everything is so good.
And I'm just blacking out, screaming profanities on the weekends.
I
Just
know,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
That was the same with me. My mom's just brought to Civil War. Everything just goes great. And I'm just like, you, mom! Like, just smoking weed with my degenerate friends in the woods.
Good catch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and again, we're all doing it for different reasons. And again, even the manic thing. It's like I'm recognizing it now as conversations become more clear with family history and things like that, where it's like the decision making of getting fucked up and doing all that stuff. There's an underlying thing there.
Oh
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
oh,
they're-
for sure.
And their cultures don't. This is new for our culture, let alone.
Yeah, because there are things like, just shut up.
God.
Believe
God.
in God. God is it.
God.
God's the only prescription.
Yeah.
They're like, pray more.
Oh, you're
And then
schizophrenic.
even if you're an alcoholic, you just become the person in the family that's the alcoholic.
Yeah, but you have God, right?
There's no cure. You're just like, that's that guy.
Yeah.
But you have God,
Like,
right?
yeah. No, you still believe in God, but you're just like, he sleeps on the couch.
We don't have Zoloft. We have whiskey and Greg.
Whiskey and Jesus.
Yeah.
My dad always complains that the worst thing about American culture is the funerals, because in England a funeral is like you go to a church for about 10 minutes and then everyone goes to a pub for about 3 hours and gets like blasted, and they're like, that's how you handle grief.
Yeah.
And then we all
these sober narcs.
Yeah.
Sit here with their feelings and hug people in the house
It's
of God.
bloody horrible.
Yeah.
Give me a pint for fuck's sake.
That's like the funniest response to have to death. Where you're like, I can't. Oh, listen, life is hard. Feeling alcohol.
His response to everything is like, I'll get you a drink. Like, literally, I mean, I remember I fell for this girl in North Carolina. We went on like 2 dates or whatever, and she actually she met my parents briefly, and then
Interesting.
The same day I was like, yeah, she told me that she wasn't interested, and my dad was like, all right, and he like hit me on the leg as if to be like, shut up. He's like, enough of that. Here's a drink. Putting on the game.
No,
I was
that's so funny. It's like a 1 day. He's like, vulnerability, shut up, bury that deep down. That's how the accent comes out. It's going to just be these feelings that bleed back into your mouth.
I've never had too many English friends, but I would love to be like present for like the breakdown. Because as much as they're drinking and bottling, one night
Yeah,
they gotta
it's gonna
they gotta
come out.
start crying a lot.
Why aren't
They're
divorce...
just crying in an alley? Mate, she didn't fucking touch my. I want to see that. I want to.
That's why the soccer fights happen, because you bottle it all up and then your team loses. They're like, I'm killing
Yeah,
someone.
I can't take this anymore.
Burn down my fucking city.
Yeah, that's what it is. They're like, why are they so? You're like, because your dad. You're like, oh, this girl broke my heart. He's like, shut up.
Or why they all
Drink a
hate
beer?
each other. They're like, they can't. They don't deal with anything. They're like, you have a weird accent, don't you? You're from a different part of Britain, you piece of shit. They're crazy, man.
Yeah.
They are crazy. Damn it. That was more than 3.5 seconds. That reached the threshold, dude.
Yeah.
So did you didn't get any trouble with the law though? Like you didn't get any like fucking like,
Well, not like
I really
not real,
daisied?
not real trouble. Got an alcohol citation.
Okay.
Oh, that's
which
not
is a
real
whole
trouble.
terrifying.
Was that at
thing.
like school? Like
No, yes. I got I got
college or
suspended in high school.
Oh,
my
shit.
homecoming. That was bad. I forgot about that one.
yeah, I never got. Did you ever get suspended?
I did for cyberbullying.
Whoa! Stop the podcast.
Hold on.
This is a new thing.
Give me some screenshots of that.
Hold
Holy
on.
shit!
Yeah.
That is what you would get suspended for,
Yeah.
for sure.
Wait, I need to hear about. I have a version of cyberbullying that we didn't get in trouble for, but I think about it now. I'm like, that was really fucked up.
It was
yeah.
bad.
I-
Okay. So what happened?
What year is it?
Freshman year.
What, 2009, 2010?
So I
Got it somewhere around.
yeah, somewhere around there. I don't need to do the math. Felt first grade, but so basically what happened was I was kind of known for being like a mean, roasty guy among my friends.
Oh,
So-
you don't say.
Yeah.
Really?
And someone handed me a phone, and they're just say the meanest thing you can think of to this person. I barely knew the
Can't
chick.
wait. Can't
Just
wait.
said the meanest thing I could
across the
say.
gender lines.
Yeah, across the gender
yeah,
lines.
That's where. Yeah.
How well
then-
you didn't know her at all?
I saw her in the hallway,
Ooh.
but it was something about like how I think it said something like your dad's Bon Jovi and your mom's Medusa or something, and then my friend.
Not pretty clever.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
not-
No, I mean we
not
did.
hacky.
Creative.
my-
Yeah, I was expecting it to be way more lowbrow, but that was
Yeah,
good. That was
yeah,
good.
yeah.
There was some- and then my friend sees it, and he kind of takes it as like a challenge, so he's trying to overdo the mean thing I'm
Okay, yeah,
so
so
now
he's
we're
like,
just
we're gonna punch
we're
this out a
focused
bit.
on the craft now. We're going just mean
It's just a
text to
writer's
mean
room. It's just a
text.
writer's
This is
room.
a writer's, but we kind of forget these are going into the self-esteem of a teenager who's just randomly getting horrifically mean text message. I like put the phone down, didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
Didn't even think about it.
Yep.
A couple days go by, and then like on the next Tuesday, someone's like, "Hey, like she took her phone to like the school cop."
Of course.
And then I was just like, "Wait, what do you?" I literally forgot what they were talking. I was like, "What phone? What do you mean?" And
That
she's
was
like,
just a Tuesday, baby.
"Yeah,
I
yeah."
was just riffing.
Yeah, it was me. I should have
the writer's room? Wait, yeah.
So I get called to the Officer Stone's office. This guy,
Officer
and-
Stone. That's
Officer
North
Stone,
Carolina
who was
as
a
fuck.
yeah, dude, and he was just like, it's just me and this guy Nick, and then he's just like,
us.
listen, I deal with a lot of social media. And I've never seen anything so vile, so terrible.
That's
Yes.
Reddit, dude.
That's
Yeah.
a win.
And
That's
there was
a win.
and
That's a win.
it was kind of funny because he had to read every text and be like, "Was this you?"
Oh,
And
I
then
love it. I love
And then
it.
it was like kind of funny because he would read it and in a southern accent be like, "And your mother's Bon Jovi, and your father's Medusa." And we were just sitting there like cracking up like.
Still rips.
Still kind of, yeah. We were kind of like, that was my tag. Like, I think I almost fought Nick. I was like, don't try to claim that was mine. That was my tag. That was solid. And so we take responsibility, and then they like, but it was like it was kind of terrifying because it was around the time they made it like
different kind of thing.
they
Yeah.
made it like a misdemeanor.
That's what
Like,
I'm saying,
I was
yeah,
actually,
yeah.
I could actually have go
Gone
to
to
jail
jail,
for
yeah,
sending a mean
Dude,
text.
cyberbullying. That's why I asked what year it was, because that like
No, that I was
that internet
so
thing kinda
around this
changed.
time. I was like terrified.
Yeah.
I was gonna be like put in a jail cell.
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sending a mean text, and it was like I think I even talked to her. I said like I was really sorry and like whatever. I like pleaded. I was like, listen, my mom and brother.
If you were hot, she probably would have been like, okay.
Yeah, no, she was like, this guy's gonna burn.
But
yeah,
because because you were you, she was like, I'm going to the police.
yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna have you arrested.
Yeah,
dude.
I know.
This is
the hot
horrible.
guy insults me, I'm gonna get wet. But this guy makes my pussy
oh,
dry
he's-
as
yeah,
fuck.
Yeah. No, I need
Yeah.
to throw him in jail.
Call the
so-
cops.
Oh my god.
So what ended up happening is like we go and then I remember the vice principal's like, yeah, and, isn't funny, and my kind of
I mean,
solid
come
tag.
on.
Yeah, and then I just had a day off, but it was also funny because they could never reach anybody because all my numbers, I had not updated a single phone number for the high school
Scamming since
system.
day one, dude.
Since
You're like-
elementary school,
Yeah, yeah.
my dad at the time was AWOL.
Yeah,
Literally didn't know where he was.
Oh, wow.
He was off the grid. And then my mom's deaf, So they couldn't, and I had to explain this to him, because kind of like showing him my system. I'm like, my dad, I don't know where he is. My mom's you need a carrier pigeon, basically, to reach my house. Like, you
need to hire
gotta
somebody.
Yeah, you
Send a
need
mean
to get
text.
a sign language interpreter to show up to my house. You're not getting it. I'm
not gonna interpret
I'm the
shit.
only vehicle to this message, and I ain't saying shit.
Yeah.
Officer Stone is shitting his pants. He's like, I don't know what the fuck I signed up for. This is a lot.
Going on. How do we get this weird kid
What the
in
fuck?
trouble?
It's sign language. Hello. Hey.
Yeah, you're son. God.
Fuck off.
Yeah. So I just I just remember I got a day off school, and I think I just explained it to my mom in like the most dumbed down way. I was like, there's a thing, I can't go to school. I was like, I don't know, there's too many people over there that want me home.
Our parents are very different. This is very.
Well, my mom was like, she was just busy being a mom.
Yeah.
So that's the thing about single moms is while your kid is a teenager and becomes the worst person alive, they're like, I'm doing so much shit. And then they're like, hey, you okay? And you're just like, no, not at all. Just being a nightmare.
Just jerking off and crying.
Just developing into a nightmare human.
Yeah, I got suspended my senior year homecoming. My friend date had like these moonshine cranberries or whatever.
Oh shit!
So I ate like 15 of them at dinner. But
you didn't even. You're like, so I ate 15.
No, but I'm like crushing my dinner. Like, oh, I'm gonna get a nice buzz going. Nothing happened. We pull up to the parking lot. My buddy's like, oh, let's go take some shots.
Oh no!
So I go to the car.
It's like alcohol poisoning shit, bro.
No, not even that. Just literally bottle to my lips, knock on the window, blew a .01 or some dumb shit.
Oh.
Yeah, got
That's
suspended.
kind of lame.
Super lame, but to African parents, they might as well have just committed perjury.
Yeah.
And my parents were in DC, so they had to like call my uncle and aunt to like pick me up, and then my parents drive back from DC. And
Did you get caught by the police or by the school administration?
the police were present, but because it was, and that's the thing, if I was across the street, it wouldn't have been. They would have probably thrown it all away.
Yeah.
But it happened on school, police there, citation, suspended 5 days. 26 weeks of drug classes. I had to go to NA meetings.
You went to NA meetings for a sip of beer?
Literally. People talk about doing heroin and like crack, and I'm just like,
people in NA would have
took a shot at vodka.
They
Sorry.
must have laughed you out of the goddamn room.
It was hard because they were like, we need you to talk. And I'm like, I don't know what to say.
And you're like, and I
But I mean,
remember-
I was being a piece of shit at that time. Like, the car that we had gone to, had we gone to a different car, there would have been 150 natty lights, an 8-ball blow. Like that one decision changed so much that night.
Also, like, if the cops went to that car.
That's what I'm saying. If we would have gone to that car instead of the other car, the entire situation would have changed.
you would have went to jail, probably.
A lot. Yeah, a lot. So, like, I was being a fucker. I was fucking around heavy. So, like, sitting in those meetings.
In retrospect, it was good.
Very interesting.
You were like, oh, this is kind of the
very
future.
I mean, it was funny because, like, even our drug counselor, so sexy. She was so beautiful. It was like insulting that they would put like 16, 17-year-old degenerates.
No, that's a smart
psyop. With a fat ass, beautiful woman.
Actually, I think that is a smart side because you're like, sobriety is awesome. Like, I'm going to become sober just to impress her.
And
like,
then,
that is the move.
One of my buddies who was in the class, it was like his cousin, and he's like, "You've done mushrooms," and she was just like, "We're not talking about that." I'm like, "All right, so what are we doing here?"
Yeah.
And again, I have a sip of alcohol. There are people that are doing way, 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 way worse shit. So, like, in that, it's
but that's good for you at that point, probably, to be around. Just to be like,
to an extent, I mean, and
disease is defined by its symptoms, not its consequences, brother.
The scared straight thing is funny you say that. My dad, so my parents found out my brothers and I had MySpace. Flipped the fuck out. They made us watch To Catch a Predator like every night for like as long as I can remember.
Pretty intense.
Then when I started drinking and like fucking out with drugs, my dad would make me watch what do you call it? Intervention.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
They were like, okay, the only answer is American reality.
Yeah.
Literally.
This is
So like, we have the perfect. We were gonna
Yeah.
sit down and watch this anyway.
Yeah.
But this just added some stakes
Just
to
be
it.
scared, and I'm like, this isn't working. I'm gonna go get drunk. next week.
Intervention, definitely not. You're like, I could be on A&E if I keep going.
Yeah, you're like, I could boost my career.
Yeah.
Get a TV credit.
That's like
while
I'm watching. I'm like, that's way too much vodka, buddy. You're not gonna have a good day if you drink that much at 8 a.m.
Yeah. Oh my god. Well, it's been a fun pod, man. You got anything to plug before we get out of here?
Nah, just follow me on IG. Same shit, different day. Out here hustling, you know.
Hell
Absolutely.
yeah, dude.
Come while you're hustling. Come out to the Lincoln Lodge 7 nights a week. Great
nights a
comedy.
week.
Every day.
Fantastic. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Fuck are you doing? While you're at it, subscribe to the Patreon.
Please.
We need the help. Nick's out here struggling.
Oh, yeah.
I'm out. So just help a brother out. Give back to your community.
Help the
You're
boys.
the
out.
yeah, give back to the the fuck you dad community.
Yeah.
God bless you.
I love ya. Peace.
Yeah.
Hey guys, you just listened to another episode of Fuck You Dad. If you could follow us on our Instagram, which is FCKYOUDAD podcast. That's the important one. We also have a Twitter account, which is FCKYOUDADPODCA1. If you could follow that. Also, please submit any father stories that you have that you'd like us to make fun of, laugh at, or share. Shoot that to our Instagram DMs. And if you could please go ahead and rate the podcast, share the podcast with your friends and family that might enjoy it. And keep listening. Thank you so much.